And we're live. Hi, ladies. Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. Women of the World Network. Hi, Eva. Great to see you.
Hi, Elle, and hi, everybody in the Women of the World Network. Good morning.
Good morning. Hope you're doing great, everyone. And I'm excited to have you. Thank you for taking the time, Eva, to chat with me this morning. Before we jump on, I'd love to introduce you first.
Okay.
So Eva is an executive certified high performance coach, international speaker, and author. She has coached both men and women in the areas of personal development, leadership, and mastering habits for success in their personal and professional lives. She specializes in helping busy professionals have more money, time, and success without sacrificing health, well-being, and relationships in the process. She uses her personal experiences along with her leadership, relationship, and high performance training to teach you how to have it all without sacrificing it all.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Yay! I'm excited to have this conversation with you.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you, darling. This is great. This is great. I love that you're doing these lives in your group and really giving women a chance to connect with your world, your women of the world. It's perfect.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. Welcome. Welcome, Eva. So one of my favorite questions before we jump on is I usually ask is what makes you unique? What makes you tick or authentic or different or unique?
I thought about that a little bit, and it's just like, I want to say there's so many things that make you unique. First of all, as a coach, I give, I would call myself like a more of a tough coach, not a people pleasing coach. So I really tell you what you need to hear to move forward, not what you want to hear. But the one thing that I know makes me unique is my personal experience of being a workaholic, building a business, that superwoman trying to do it all so that we could have it all, usually, for my family and the dream life that I wanted. And what it did, how it impacted my relationship. I often tell the story of, as a dental hygienist, because that was my born profession, if you will. I was downsized during the last economic turndown that we had, 2010-ish, and I had just turned 50.
Mhm.
And I, had this big trip planned for my 50th birthday, and my boss brought me in and told me that my days are being cut in half and my salary was being reduced. And I was the main breadwinner in the family, and my daughters were in college, and my husband was a freelancer, and that work was drying up. And it was the scariest time of my life. And
Mhm.
how I reacted to it was like, okay, I get to be an entrepreneur now. I get to not depend on a job, and built a real estate investment company, and went through hiring coaches, mentors, taking classes, really going deep in debt, but I call it good debt, to build that real estate company. But the difference was I was so driven to have that company succeed, whereas my husband is not as driven as I am. So I ended up working my day job as a hygienist. In the mornings, I would study. At lunch, I would study. In the evenings, I would study and make offers, and on the weekends, work on the real estate business while doing laundry, shopping, cooking, everything we do as moms and busy
Yeah,
professionals.
yeah.
And I was trying to do it all so that we could have it all. And I
Mm.
remember one day coming home, and we had just gone to Mexico. And I remember picking up my husband's phone because I was looking for something. And I realized that he was having an affair and falling in love with another woman.
Mm.
And it was in that moment that I realized that the stress that I was carrying, that energy of stress, made me partially responsible for what was
Mhm.
going on in our relationship. I had lost sight of what was really important to me, my relationships with family, with friends. And I realized that I could lose it all in that moment after working so hard to have it all for this family. And so that perspective and the journey we went through to heal our marriage, to heal from that hurt, and to create a foundation for a stronger relationship makes me unique, to really show people how they can have more by doing less, and to keep focused on what their priorities are in life.
Oh, wow. Wow, there is so much in there. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for being so transparent, Eva. I know you shared with me that story before, but, honestly, I love the maturity in you being able to see things from that perspective and seeing, okay, I take responsibility versus blaming, right? That's how the natural reaction will be,
Human nature. There's
right?
blaming, there's victimhood, and and here's what's important when something happens for us like that. I always say that, I know you and I are both Brains Magazine contributors, but that infidelity saved our marriage. It was like a 2x4 to the head, and we could go into victim. But what I intentionally did was I only surrounded myself with people who were would not bash my husband.
Mm-hmm.
I shared the story. I reached out for help and support. We got help and support as a couple and individually. And if anybody was what I should do to him, and and was down on him, because I know he's a good guy.
Yeah.
But everybody reacts to the pain that they're feeling in a different way.
Right.
That was a cry for help. It could have been drugs. It could have been alcohol. It could have been verbal abuse. It could have been physical abuse. It could have been so many things. Infidelity is one of many self-sabotaging behaviors that people often resort to when there's that disconnection and that hurt and that pain. And so I was able to surround myself with people who helped me look at it that way and didn't try to steer me into victim and blaming and shaming and a breakup, but just, like, you guys get to heal from this. And I sought out one of my my leadership coaches to help us and give us a little bit of direction, like what are our next steps.
Mm-hmm.
And we're very coachable, and we did that. And it was a really hard, mucky journey, but the other side of it has just been beautiful. Now, I'm not saying we're perfect, so I don't want anybody to hear that. Do I still want to punch him in the face? Sometimes, yes. Does he still want to punch me in the face? Yes. However, the level of commitment that we have to a relationship that we want, as opposed to being committed to the person, was the powerful shift that we made, because people make mistakes. And if you put all of your commitment to this person, which is scary at the same time, Elle, like, I wanted my life to be with this person, but I also had to not be attached to that expectation and really be present that I want and deserve a relationship with someone who shows up for me and I show up for them. And, I had all of my desires in a relationship, and I had to really understand that it may not be with this person. And that was the scary part. And that was the toughest part to navigate. So fortunately, I had a coach with me the whole time, to help me really stay present in creation. And that kept me from worrying about the future, worrying about the past. Is it going to happen again? And what if it doesn't work? And as we stay in present and creation and supporting each other and being our best selves for each other,
wow,
we were able to really get through that. And then all of a sudden you look behind and like, wow, we came from that to this. It's just beautiful.
Oh, wow. I love that story. And I love that whole perspective. And even going forward after all of that, how do you erase it? How do you, wow. I thank you. And so I love these conversations, right? Because it just gives you so much more behind the story as to what you're doing today, that each one of us has something that we lived, now we can give to the world and share to the world, and thus you doing what you're doing right now. But the high performance, behind that, there's so much richness and the experience that rich experience that you can bring and help people deal with today, right? So I just love having these conversations with ladies and learning more and more. So we mentioned, and I love that we women, you are so right. Of course, we do so much.
Yes.
Kids, business, and we are capable. We are so we flexible, strong, and all of that, right? But in the midst of all of that, is it possible to have it all? And how do we have it all, or how do we get that to that point where we feel maybe not have it all, but we feel balanced? Or is it that?
Yeah, I love that question, because we have been sold that we can have it all. We have been sold that idea that we can have it all. But with women especially, we think that we have to do it all and be it all to have it all. And that's the distinction.
Right.
That we have to be the ones to do it all, and we can do it right, and we can do it perfectly, and it has to look a certain way. And that adds to that stress and burnout and overwhelm that really affects our health, our well-being, our relationships, to where we're not showing up as our best selves. That's how I look at it. And so when you look at balance, we always have this mental image that balance means equal. And it's not.
So true.
It's not. And so it's not about doing more, but it's really about, and it's not even about doing less, just for the sake of doing less, but it's just like, what are your priorities? What are your values? And when you have that clear, you can create boundaries. And, we don't delegate enough.
Yeah.
One of the things, I read this amazing book called The Secrets of Highly Successful Women, and it really is about the imposter syndrome. And because it's been, so hard on women being in, a white male dominated society that's misogynist, we have to do more, improve ourselves more, and the pressure we put on ourselves, where men will just they delegate so much easier, and they have someone do things for us, but we somehow need that control to prove that we do it all. And so a lot of us grew up being pleasers in life and wanting to get that recognition. And so we say yes to everything. For whatever reason, mine is like fear of missing out. Oh, if I say no, what opportunity am I missing out? No, I've got to be clear that this is the direction that I'm going. These are my values, my priorities, and I can't go off on a side expedition. I've got to keep straight. When you keep straight, you go up. But when you go off in all different directions, you lose sight of where you're going. And oftentimes we feel we have something to prove, or we want to look good, or we're people pleasing, or whatever that looks like. And so the important part is to decide what is important to you, what are your values, and make sure you're working off of a blueprint of your priorities and values, and not of your husband's, not of society's, not of your parents, of what they expect of you, and to really be true to that, and then have boundaries and learn how to say no and protect your time. So that I always tell my high performers, and when I say high performers, it's really is setting your day, your week, your month, your life up to win, so that you run your day. Your day doesn't run you. It's really very simple. It doesn't mean like you're a high performing athlete. And prioritize your priorities first in the day before you deal with anybody else's. And then you will find that you're more focused and you have a better direction on what having it all is. Having it all doesn't mean that you have to be the one to do it all.
Yeah. Love that. Love that. Yes. The thing you mentioned there, yeah, definitely priorities, definitely what you want, not the society, not the parents. Oh, I just love that. And then the boundaries, huge for boundaries. I love the whole conversation about boundaries. That just can be taken for hours and hours. But I know I learned that in my experience as well. Yeah, having proper boundaries with everyone, including family, right, and kids and everyone around. Thank you for sharing that, Eva. Thank you. So I know you have an event coming up. Did you want to mention about that? And I know we will post the links to how to connect. Ladies, please connect with Eva. She's amazing. I love her. She has so much expertise and experience to share with you. Just a beautiful person. We're going to share in the comments here. But yeah, if you wanted to mention your event as well.
Yeah, I also actually, I was just thinking as we were talking, if you don't mind, I have a gift that I would like to give to anybody who watches this, because, it's easy to say, set your priorities and boundaries. And some of us really have trouble being clear on what our priorities are and what we should focus on in our lives. And so I find that when a lot of my clients come to me, they are lacking that clarity on which direction they should go in their life or their business and what they should do. And so I have a gift called the Essential Pillars of High Performers. And it really is questions that you can ask yourself that will bring clarity into your life. Like, decide what makes you happy, how to get more of that in your life, and what makes you unhappy, and how to lose some of that. I was talking to someone yesterday, one of my clients, and I noticed when she talked about something where she lit up, but when she talked about something she wanted to focus to, her energy went down, and she didn't notice that. And it really became clear to her, just through my observations, what she should be focusing on that lifts her up and brings her joy and make her happy, as opposed to what she thought she should be doing.
Right.
That gave that energy. And so, like you said, you'll post the links, and it would just be evamedilek.com/6 pillars. And that's something that and the wonderful ladies here can just, what I do is I print it up and I put it up, and I look at those questions that when I start to get distracted, that pulls back into focus. And sometimes we just need something to keep distractions and competing interests from taking us off of our priorities. And so that's going to be very helpful. But yes, my event, I'm actually doing an interactive event called Success Without Sacrifice. How to have it all without doing it all. You do have to sacrifice some, you don't have to sacrifice everything, but you are going to have to sacrifice some things. The problem with a lot of us is we don't know what the right things are to sacrifice and what we need to let go. And so this masterclass, I'll be able to hot seat some people. It'll be interactive. It's going to be on April 29th. And, I can come back in and put the link to that as soon as we get that set up. But it's something I'm preparing now, because I just find that there's a lot of confusion. Especially with the tailspin that COVID hit us in, and just really how to have it all, how to establish those priorities and boundaries and be clear what that should be, and so that you're not confused and you can move forward and really focus on what's essential to get you from where you are to where you want to go.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm excited. That sounds like a great event. I'm excited.
People can reach out to me also on talkwitheva.com if they want more information about it as well. I love to, if any of this resonates with you and you want to get some clear direction on how you can remove those distractions, be focused, and really have some forward momentum, along with clarity, energy, the courage, and the productivity to get success without the sacrifice, you can reach out to me at talkwitheva.com. So thank you.
Beautiful. Yes, we'll post the links. Please connect with Eva. And thank you so much for that gift. I'm definitely go and check it out. And looking forward to your event. Thank you again, Eva. I know we're going to have coffee soon. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. Things are opening up. It's happening.
Yes, so excited. Yes. Thank you for taking the time again. Have a beautiful weekend, ladies. Thank you for joining us. For those of you who are listening to the recording as well. And everyone, have an amazing weekend. Never forget that you are a truly wow woman. Thank you, Eva. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.